Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is the boombar on your Boom Radio NG. My name is Shola Rogers.
And my name is Ola Olukoyede.
Please excuse me. Ah, yeah, it's fine. I'm apologizing for feeling the way I feel. It's a pleasure to have you guys there. To those of you listening and watching us on YouTube and Facebook, those of you who are listening on the website and all the other platforms that we're streaming to, the Boomba is all about music, sports, politics, and everything in between.
Yeah, and it's a very interesting day today. There are a few things that we're going to be talking about. It's safe to say that the issue of the what's the word now?
The
Certificate
the certificate saga.
looks like it's not going anywhere anytime soon. And looks like everybody seems to have some discrepancies, or there seems to be some allegations going around that everybody seems to have discrepancies in the paper or maybe from now on, get your papers ready before you say you want to come and contest for anything. And really and truly, I think that we're done with all this back and forth. I think it's completely unnecessary. Anyway, President Tinubu has also now asked the Supreme Court to throw out Atiku's case. He has not talked about, I've not seen a conversation or a statement about peterobi's appeal. There are a few people that have appealed some things. There's also an appeal, I think, that has gone out from Lagos State as well. So yes, those are a few things that we're going to be talking about from now. And there's a new EFCC chairman in town. There are a few things that we definitely will talk about in that regard, and a few other things as time goes on.
That's what it is. And of course, it is our job to give you different perspectives of the news. It's not just the news, we're talking analysis and, of course, opinions. Everybody has one. And if you care to share yours, hit us up, especially on X at Boom Radio NG1, at Boom Radio NG1 or at Boom Radio NG. And, of course, we'll be sure to take your comments. And very soon, we'll be able to take more feedback. We'll be getting back to the period where we could take phone calls and messages and all of that, But for now, let's rock and roll.
Okay, so let's get right into it. As the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, at least at the moment, we do have another one. Also known as Chief Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has now asked the Supreme Court to dismiss an appeal filed by the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar and the PDP challenging his victory.
Yeah, of course, that's his own response to the case. And if you look at the way his legal team handled the Presidential Election Tribunal, PEPT, right? That was more or less their stance. You would expect this kind of response from them because according to one of their people, when he was speaking, he said that maybe you're going to court expecting some kind of serious case. Then you get there and you see that the complainants or the plaintiffs now, Abby, they're not bringing the kind of case that you thought they would bring. They're chasing other things. So for them, that's why they didn't even bother to call witnesses. They didn't even bother to go in depth. They just closed their case like there was no case, And apparently the judges of the tribunal saw more or less what they saw. And of course, the case is at the highest court in the land now, the Supreme Court. And he's saying, look, you know what? Dismiss this case. There's no case. There's no substance to this case, amongst other things. That's me more or less paraphrasing on what they are saying.
Okay, now I'm still talking about.
But you think what do you think? Like seriously, before you move away from it?
The truth is that I wasn't expecting anything different. They're supposed to
from Tinubu's legal team.
I wasn't expecting anything different. Of course, they were very happy with the outcome of the tribunal, and it is the people or they are just respondents to a case that some other people took to court. Do you get? So it is not in the place to, would I say, put out a lot of evidence and all that. So I wasn't surprised. Of course, this was probably what's going to happen, and everybody would probably throw jabs at each other from left to right up until when the Supreme Court, I thought this whole thing was supposed to be. Are they going to say?
I'm sure they're still well within the window.
The Supreme Court is like the whole proceedings is not going to take so long.
Yeah, because this time around, you know that they're actually following strictly, the Electoral Act, and there's no way anybody can slip up now because you don't want to be found wanting. So there's no issues with when it's going to come, and I have a feeling that it's going to be swift.
Yeah, it looks like it because this window is closing, like really closing very, very quickly. Anyway, so like I said, I'm not expecting any different. I didn't even know that there are always replies to these things before the case begins at the Supreme Court. Personally, I'm just saying, I didn't know that they normally just reply this thing. I think they just go to court. But anyway, it is what it is, and now it means that we're expecting a reply from them for the case from Labour Party and also the case from APM. There's also APM also appealed. Why are you looking? It's an appeal. Why did you make that statement?
I see. I'm going to predict that
if we go back to the judgment of the tribunal, even though they dismissed their case, it took a whole almost 2 hours to read the judgment. So it's
what were the conclusions? Were they fined?
I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, Sha, I'm saying that if you remember very well, it took 2 hours. So it's actually a serious case as well. It's
not a serious case. I feel it's an abuse of the court process. My opinion, which I am totally entitled to, and of course within the confines of the law, I think that they're just wasting time. I don't know what grounds that they are fighting for, because you cannot bring a pre-election matter and be going all the way to Supreme Court, and you're not even fighting for yourself. Because if you're fighting for yourself, your prayer should be that after all said and done, your presidential candidate should be made president.
Yeah, because they just don't want him. They're saying that his candidacy is flawed.
Okay, so the court says no. The court says different. INEC says different. So what are you fighting for, APM? Seriously, I don't like wasting time on that particular party. I think that really and truly that they're just basically, playing someone's game. Whoever is behind this whole ploy, let's focus on the people who are more serious. The people who have votes. They have over 6 million votes. Atiku has about 6.7 million votes. Peterobi has about 6.1, 6.2, and these are people who are saying that they won the election. Sadly, you don't see them talk about that too much these days. They are more or less about maybe if they can eliminate the person that INEC has declared winner, then they can become president. And that's where the problem really lies. I repeat again, there is no pathway for Peter Obi except Atiku is removed also. And if I was Peter Obi, I would be attacking Atiku too. It's the truth.
Because you need to get him out of the way for this to be a clear path. But they might be citing, remember that people will still go back to Governor Uzodimma, if I'm correct.
Okay, I'm waiting to find the correlation.
He was fourth, according to what INEC had announced.
Okay.
He had to. They didn't have to bounce.
What did he pray? What was his prayer?
Third person.
They did.
No, what I mean by they didn't have to bounce them was because by the time they added his own votes, he already got more votes than everybody else.
Is this the same scenario? Have you heard Peter Obi or Atiku say that my votes were added to Tinubu's votes or my votes were not counted? Have you heard them say that?
No.
That's how you win at the courts. You prove that you have votes, valid votes, that were not added or were added to someone else wrongly. But all I see is certificate and 25% in Abuja and all of those things that are actually clear. But we like to create this ambiguity. And sadly, the generality of their supporters do not read. Yes, they don't read, and they end up being used as cannon fodder. They have this blind supportership and everything. I saw Nigerians going to harass BBC reporters on social media. Those people had to lock their Twitter accounts.
See, let's call it spade a spade. As much as Mr. Peterobi went on and on about how the president is embarrassing them and all that, the people that do these things, you're the one embarrassing Nigeria. You are the one embarrassing. Like, I don't know for the life of me how someone brings out a report. Let's even say the report is a lie, and the report is. What do you think attacking them on social media is going to achieve? Like, let's break it down. What do you think it is going to? What do you think is going to come out of it? Remember the issue of the Chicago State University and how people said they were compromised and all that. And like I said yesterday, maybe Nigerian mentality has eroded a lot of people's sense of judgment, that you feel that everybody is like that. But I think also I can categorically say, I probably will not speak for everybody, but I still think that there's still a large chunk of schools, even in Nigeria, that have integrity, that I'm not sure that they're going to whip up. Because for you to whip up a certificate for someone, are you also going to look for marks for the person? Are you also going to say this person did not graduate, or this person did not attend this class, or this? Like, what exactly do you think was going to happen? And it almost seems like we're at a point where once it does not agree with you, whether it is commonsensical or not, whether your own actions is as commonsensical or not, whether there is evidence or not, and you see grown people, when you see younger people, you see grown people go on TV and radio, and then they're spewing, I don't even want to call it ignorance, because I feel that these are even the people that are like fueling this thing. And even if someone is telling you something, that is why we all have brains. I'm not saying that Bola Tinubu is a saint, or I'm not holding brief for anybody. But in the real sense of it, we should stick with the facts. The minute the fact says this, what else are you looking for? Like, I don't get it. It's not the first time, it's not the second time, it's not the third time. Once somebody goes somewhere, journalists decided they wanted to, this was a story that was going on, and they felt that it was good to fact check it. And they did. And they brought out their findings. BBC is just not any kind of media house. It's very, very reputable. So I don't think they will put their name on just anything. And then you do all that.
Except they're compromised, like they're alleging.
Compromised. But you can't allege something, and that's much.
But can you even prove it, sir?
But prove it. So everybody, now the courts, Nigerian courts are compromised.
According
the
to
university
them,
is compromised. The American court is compromised. The BBC is compromised.
According to them,
everybody is compromised. What do you think is the what's it called? If truly and really, let's look at it from this angle. If truly the person, the way they are alleging that the president Bola Tinubu is that powerful and he can compromise all these people.
Yeah.
If truly that's what is happening, do you think you have, and it means that this person has to be an extremely powerful person. So do you really think that you have any chance against him?
Yes, a lot of people believe
Do you
that.
get, like, if he really is as powerful as you are alleging?
I've spoken to people who believe that regardless of how Bola Tinubu is perceived to be powerful, that they have a stronger voice and they have a bigger movement, and they can actually bring him down and they can, get the right person in place. In their words, the right person has to be their own person because they believe that he's impeccable, he's of impeccable character, is straightforward, everything about him is open and all of that. He has no issues whatsoever. So for them, Tinubu has a lot of clouds hanging around him. Now, the sad part is on Tinubu's part, he's trying to say, look, I'm this and this and that. I'm a bona fide Tinubu. I was born here. I went to this school and that school. But a lot of people who support Atiku and Obi, and even all the other people feel that no, that Tinubu is not who he claims to be. We've heard different names. There was one time that Amoda Ogunlere was trending. They said,
my God!
See, it's from Iragbiji
when
Osun
we're
State.
Good with listening to what I've come to realize that Nigerians love conspiracy theories.
It's told the identity of a female Bola Tinubu. That's the allegation. That's the story that people are pushing. So that's why it's hard for them to believe that a certain university in America will say, oh, the same person that came to their school in 1977 or thereabout and graduated in 79 is the same person that is the president of Nigeria. For me as a person, I was waiting for that pronouncement. And when I heard it, I said, so
like,
then again,
there's no conversation
but
anymore.
I also knew that the opposition were still going to be groping at straws. This is my opinion. And they're not going to look at a scenario where the school has spoken and they're supposed to move on from it. But what they've done is to twist a few of the things that were said.
Yeah, because at this point, where we should be at a point where now that he's in power, it's time to hold him accountable.
Yeah.
Because we're, like you said, groping at straws. And this is how people get away with a lot of things. Why do I say so? Is that when it is time to be calling him out on things that he's said or he has promised, we are hanging on to things that are completely unnecessary.
I was looking at the headlines this morning. And in the parallel market, which actually should not exist anymore, the Naira has hit the lowest in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
1,025 Naira to $1. That, if anybody had told you that this day was going to come, you'd be like, never. Can never be that. It is that bad. It is that bad. And I have seen videos of fuel queues in Abuja.
Yeah.
And fuel going high.
The price, you mean?
The pump price of fuel going high, thank you. And I've read articles and stories where independent marketers of petrol and byproducts of crude say that there is no way you can import fuel at the current rate and sell below 800 Naira. Nigerians are not focusing on this. It is more important. I'm telling you, if you want to get...
That's why my issue is like,
if you
there's so many issues that we should be
We need to focus on why is the dollar... Look, you said if you float the Naira, that dollar will crash. You said that...
It's not happening.
They have removed subsidy. The marketers are claiming that landing cost is higher than pump price. So some people are saying, no, it's not that kind of... It's a different subsidy. This one... Look, whatever it is, let us hold them honest on these things.
Exactly. I'm like,
but we're all focused.
Issues.
We're focused on this. It's almost as if we just like drama. It's like Big Brother. Like everybody just wants drama. My people call it violence. You know, there's a special way they even spell it now.
Oh God.
And let's focus on the real issues.
It's not going to lead us anywhere. The truth of the matter is,
I'm not
conversation,
saying
it's not going to do anything.
I am not saying that if someone has done something wrong, we should look the other way. But we must be able to prove it.
But there's no evidence of wrongdoing.
Beyond reasonable doubt.
Exactly.
You must be able to prove it. Look. For instance, there was a lady that I really liked the way she used to speak. Like she was, oh, she grew up in the UK. I'm so much for you. Sorry, she was a commissioner in Ogun State, and the governor of Ogun State and the then president. We know that they are very, very close. They were in the same caucus, the same party, the ANPP, before they merged with then Tinubu's ACN and the other parties to form the APC. Of course, so she went from commissioner in Ogun State to minister. Somewhere along the line, the news broke that her NYC certificate was forged. You know what? That happened. And she got to leave the government. Yeah. Do you understand? So, I'm not saying that. And the reason why she resigned is because the evidence was glaring that this, even if some people set her up and went to get it for whatever reasons or helped her get it, whatever it is, bottom line is it's her name that is on it and it is forged. And she left. That is evidence. Do you understand? But all through our lives, we've been going from one circus to the other. This is another circus. There was a time when a former, I think it was a former Senate president, the story broke, that he had a criminal past. And he said, no, that's not him. That he is Evan. He is Evans. I think it's Evans, Evan or something. And the other person is Evan. Do you understand? The difference was the S. What about the time that he was James Onanafe Ibori? No. In fact, one man came out to claim that he was the James that was arrested in the past and everything, until his wife came out to say, no, that's not her husband's name. I'm just trying to make you guys see that it's not today, that there will be all of these allegations, but everything has to be proven. But let us not lose sight of the real issues. The real issues are, even if the Supreme Court is going to kick Bola Tinubu out or not, as of today, is the president.
It's the president, so
let's things are not going the way we want them to. I'm being honest here. Things are not going the way we want them to. Even buying fuel at the 575, 585 that we buy in Lagos, at times 590, it's still not that convenient. It's killing. Gas went as low as 7,000 naira a few weeks ago, and they were like, Tinubu is fake. Now gas is 12,000 naira.
12,000 something.
This is just October. Gas usually goes higher around October, November. Do you understand? We don't even know where gas is going to go to. Where are they with the CNG promises that they made? Where are they with the conversions and all of that? Where is the palliatives and the subsidies and stuff that they're going to do for us? But we're all focused on a certificate.
Very unnecessary conversation.
The truth is we can't prove.
We can't prove. So anyway, let's move on from it, because I'm even just done with this whole matter. But talking about certificates, this whole certificates matter has not ended. And looks like as if, first things first, the APC has replied Mr. Peterobi yesterday and says that Tinubu does not have an identity problem and he does not need reintroduction. Now, moving from that a little bit, the National Publicity Secretary of the Labour Party.
Thank you. Labour Party. Because the Supreme Court has spoken.
Yeah. Of the Labour Party has alleged that there is a discrepancy in the credentials of their presidential candidate, Peter Obi. So, during an interview on AIT, he said that he was part of...
Who said?
Mr. Abayomi Arabambi.
That's the spokesperson of the party.
The National Publicity Secretary, yes.
For Labour Party.
For Labour Party. He had said that he was among the people who screened Peter Obi, and saying that the name on Obi's academic certificate from University of Nigeria, Nsukka, was not the same as his National Youth Service Corps certificate.
Okay.
Now, I know that it's probably a story that maybe give it like 1 day or 2 days. It's probably going to go viral and everybody has
Today,
everybody's going to
by
be talking
evening.
about it. But I wanted to one question I just want to ask
Yeah.
because see, as much as you might like or not like, let's stick with the facts. Whether the school living certificate, the University of UNN, and the NYC, did he at any point tender that to INEC?
Okay. Did he tender it at any
Yes.
point to say, "Oh, this is my certificate and
Exactly.
everything"? I'm not sure he did, because what we've heard is that it was
It was his school living certificate, his
that-
WAEC certificate.
WAEC that
So,
he tendered.
as much as this seems to be a very
Sensational.
very juicy, sensational story, probably go viral and all that. Yes, for the sake of, according to him, accountability and showing Nigeria in a good light, if we take from what he was talking about yesterday, he might need to give some explanation. But the minute he did not tender it to INEC, I don't think this can be called into question.
So, I think the angle that the Labour Party spokesperson is coming from is the angle of morality. That on what grounds do you get to say somebody has done something and is embarrassing the nation while you have probably done the same or worse? Because the person you're even alleging, the school said that he is their student. So, but before you jump on that bandwagon and all of that, the person who is alleging this now, Mr. Arabambi, what's his name again?
Yeah, Abayomi Arabambi.
He should bring the proof. Do you understand? Did he maybe snap a picture of the NYC certificate? Do you get? Or does he have photocopies of it? Being privileged to have been on the screening committee of the Labour Party, it is not enough for you to come out and say Peter Obi forged something or has two different names or whatever. Or he must be able to actually show that indeed Peter Obi's NYSC has discrepancies as compared to his degree, his BSc or BA from University of Nigeria, Nsukka. He was still at that university a few days ago. You know, he went there to deliver a lecture and everything, you know. So it's not as if he has a frosty relationship with the uni. So if Mr. Arabambi feels that Peter Obi has done something wrong,
come out and say it.
You see, the same thing applies to the people who are saying Tinubu did something wrong. It's the same thing. It's the same energy.
Same energy.
The same people who are saying
energy.
Because
if we're all claiming that it is for accountability's sake. If it is truly for accountability's sake, then everybody should. In fact, at this point, everybody release your results. Let's
know. So Siddiq Abubakar or Atiku Kojoli or Abubakar Atiku is one and the same person or not. Do you understand? Now, it's not Atiku that will come and prove it. Do you get?
You are the one that is alleging.
You are the one that is alleging. So if you say Atiku is not the real person, that this Siddiq Abubakar that I presented is not him, bring proof. Show it. Show working. Because we just know how to build and destroy. You know, it's easy now. People can sit down and concoct a story and it becomes the law. It becomes what everybody is taking. Maybe that's what Tinubu is suffering. You don't know. Because when you hear a story over and over again, it becomes the truth. When they tell you...
Does it become the truth?
Oh my God, it becomes the truth. That's why when you come with a parallel fact, a different one, you know what they're going to tell you? You're lying. You've been compromised.
You've been compromised. That's the word. You've been compromised.
Because they've heard something for so long.
Anyway, I'm just saying that anybody...
Whether you like Peter Obi or not, whether you support him or not, you cannot just listen to someone accusing him of doing something wrong without proof. Except that means you are in it for the
hate. You're in it for
it.
Yeah, so like, everybody, at this point, it cuts across everybody. At this point, I think the only person that does not have story about him yet, because he's still yet, It's maybe Kwakwanso and every other person, but the first three major people now.
Since he's not
the
fighting
story-
for anything,
So maybe
there will
nobody
be no
has opened
stories.
nobody has opened his own chapter yet. They've not remembered that he's there yet. Anyway, before we leave all these issues, let's come to Lagos State, where the Labour Party governorship candidate has now filed a notice of appeal with 21 grounds, challenging the decision of the state tribunal.
It's a very good move. It's expected, that
No, he has said he was going to.
he was going to do it. So it's a good move on his own part, and he's done it within, the window that is open to him.
At this point, it's obvious that things need to be done by the book. Even coming from the Presidential Petition Tribunal, so even a lot of tribunals in the states, a lot of their witnesses and a lot of stuff were thrown out because some of them were not done according with the stipulated times and all that. So at this point, it's obvious that timing is very, very important, and the court is taking it very seriously.
Yeah. So you're still listening and you're watching the boombar right here on your Boom Radio NG. And if you are watching us on YouTube, please remember to subscribe to our channel. Leave a comment. Leave a nice comment. Like and share our link and all of that. And there's more. We need to talk about appointments now.
So appointments, the president has been on with appointments for like the past 2-3 days. There's been every day. There's been one appointment
since he
or
became
another.
president. Actually.
No, this has been like in succession for like the past 2-3 days. We had a break for like a week or two. Now we're back again. Kaboom! And of course, it's expected. It's a new government coming in, so there are a lot of places, a lot of positions to fill. Then now, the president has now appointed Ola Olukoyede as the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission.
Yeah.
And there's also been an appointment of a new secretary as well.
Yeah. Yeah, his name is Ahmed Joda Abi.
Yeah, I would look for
Very experienced personnel, security personnel. Now, I'm not going to claim to know Ola Olukoyede.
So according to the story, he has been the secretary of the commission since 2018.
Yeah, he also worked with the chairman, maybe as his essay or something like that.
As his chief of staff.
And
he was chief of staff, I think, from 2015 or 2016 to 2018.
It's been in that system over 20 years.
So it's safe to... He's a lawyer.
But, you see, his CV sounds nice and everything. Mm-hmm. But there's something that is overshadowing all of these appointments.
What is it?
Is the fact that his name and his person is from a certain part of the country.
I don't understand.
He's Yoruba, and the president is Yoruba.
Okay.
And a lot of people have been talking about it.
Alleging that there's a bit of nepotism in the
there's just Yoruba thingy. Tinubu is getting a lot of people.
But there are a lot of people that I'm not sure that I agree totally with that angle.
Yeah, you really don't. Please don't even agree. I'm begging you, don't agree. I'm just trying to put out opinion
I get you.
of what people are talking about, and a few people are saying that, why does he have to be this person and all of that? Couldn't have been the guy who was acting?
I was even going to say that it is surprising. What surprises me, yes, because he's Yoruba. But I would even say that it's a breath of fresh air. It's probably never been anybody else other than someone from the north that has headed if I stand to be corrected,
again,
that's headed the EFCC since its inception.
So that is established now. My own thing is, I wanted to find out from people, and at times it's a thing of pride when you hear that, someone from your country has achieved something. You feel proud. Mm-hmm. You feel connected to the person too, in a way.
Okay.
Someone that has your heritage or that's from your father's village or your mother's town. But in reality, how does it affect you? How does it trickle down?
How does it affect you?
You understand? I've always wondered, there's They must appoint someone from our state. They must appoint someone from our region, and they must get this. And I said to myself, I was in the town of someone who was a vice president, and I will not talk about when he was a vice president so that you will know who I'm talking about. I was in the person's town, and I spoke to a few people in that town, and they really didn't care. They didn't even, according to them, they didn't feel.
How does it affect anybody?
They didn't feel any impact of the person being vice president. If you've been to one of the former presidents of Nigeria who is still alive, he's an elderly man. I'm not mentioning his name. If you've been to his village and his town, you wonder, okay, how did it positively impact on the people of his place in being a president? Mm-hmm. And the same for the president that came after him and the one that came after that one. The only president that may have seen that his people have benefited is Buhari. He has turned Daura into...
He has not considered it specifically Daura, yes. It's something else. Which, anyway...
Hospitals have been built. Schools have been built. Universities. Do you understand? So, this thing about us always wanting someone from our region and our tribe to be president, to be vice president, minister, or whatever. How does it really affect us positively?
I don't know if in the nearest future it will, but as of now, between May 29 and now, how has it impacted Lagos State that a former Lagos State governor is now president? Really and truly, how was it? That's why I said I don't know, maybe when he's done with his 4 years, but right now it hasn't made any difference. So maybe we really should be coming down.
One day we will grow to the point where we'll be more concerned about the level of the person's
experience and its
and what is bringing, yes, what is going to achieve.
Exactly, the person's level of expertise. So just what I talked about, yes, I actually just confirmed that everybody that has been chairman or acting chairman of the EFCC has always been someone from the north. I don't know why. Maybe we'll say that's nepotism, or maybe they are what would I say? Maybe they're the most senior at that point. But we also know that most of the people that have also been chairman or acting chairman have also been policemen. I think it's only the latest, the one that just resigned, Abdul Rashid Bawa, that was not a policeman. So we can say that. I don't know if we will say we will call that also nepotism. Why I was happy about it is that maybe even if it was not him, even if it was an Igbo person or whatever it is, the fact that, okay, there's somebody else there other than, and maybe just maybe this person is also a pastor.
No, what does that mean?
No, I'm saying that.
Don't mean
maybe,
no.
just maybe.
I'm even wondering how a pastor is working in a security organization.
Why? Why shouldn't he be working?
I'm just wondering. Don't worry. Leave me to my wonderment.
Why? Though I want to know your reason why it's wrong.
Okay, so as a pastor, you preach peace and a lot of piousness and everything.
When people are not pious,
which is supposed to be what security people do. But you know that as a security person now, if something like that, you can just carry. You carry gun, you go, bah, bah, you understand? But you see, in religion, in your religion, they say, how many times or something happened that you say you turn the other cheek. You don't understand? Like, if somebody slap you, you turn the other cheek. So if you slap EFCC now, you won't turn another cheek. You cannot turn other cheek. Am I right or am I right?
I have nothing to say.
Am I right or am I right?
There's nothing.
How can a pastor or imam or Afa be working in security? Because they're always very gentle and ironic. So somebody like that will not be in EFCC. I'll be NDLEA. You say stun the other cheek. Whoa.
You're old, Abby.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, quickly, Nigeria has now, for the first time in 2023, it has been announced that crude oil production has hit 1.35 million barrels per day. That's a good thing. We hope that it gets better. It's money.
Look, a lot of these things don't make sense to a lot of us. Not because I don't understand what it means in the book, but in reality and in brass tacks, and when it comes down to it, how are Nigerians benefiting from this? Oh, it's going to trickle down. It will increase the allocations. Allocations here does not affect me. You don't understand? I'm not on your mailing list.
Oh, let's
Oh
yeah.
So you want to increase, it's your problem. Do something that we can experience well, and that's what Ozzy was,
Anyway, the Minister
which is
of Works, David Umahi, is okay. He's a senator. How many days was he a senator for?
David Umahi.
What many days was it? They say
the Minister of Works, David
they
Umahi.
say former senator.
It doesn't matter.
Go.
David Umahi, carry on.
Senator, let's be true ourselves. Anyway, as giving contractors constructing some federal highways 14 days to mobilize the personnel and equipment back to site or risk losing the contracts.
There's a running battle. Remember that a few days ago, David Umahi had a run-in with the staff of the ministry that he supervises. And we saw a video of the leader of the workers really giving it to him, and he apologized, shockingly. He apologized. Some kept on saying, this is not your state. You're not a governor, you can't do it alone, and blah, blah, and all of that. And I felt kind of like, funny about it. And they said they didn't like the way he was going around talking about them and castigating them and everything. But this is one of the things that I want people to look at. Here is a man who is actually an expert in that field.
Yeah, he's a civil engineer.
And he's saying, and there's this argument for and against bitumen or tar versus concrete. And someone showed me a story of a road that was built by Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana in 1965. And the road still exists till today. There is no road built with tar that can last that long. There's none. There's none. Anyway. And again, we keep importing. We have bitumen in Nigeria, but we import tar. Do you understand? Because it has to be refined, which means capital flight, which means that you need dollars. Do you get?
And we know that cement is done locally.
Gotten locally.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see where all that drama in the Ministry of Works is going to. Where we're coming down to Lagos State, where the governor was announced that the Blue Rail that started like about a month ago is going to be shut down after on Saturday after the morning trip and the whole of Sunday. And a lot of people are wondering why exactly. Now they're saying that this is for two reasons. Okay, basically for just one reason. And it's that they want to transfer the rail that is being powered at the moment by diesel, transfer it to electric. It's going to be fully electric by Monday. And with that in mind, there's now going to be an upgrade where instead of 12 trips per day, there's going to now be 54 trips, which I think is fantastic. It is means that with 54 times the train is moving per day, and he's also saying that they're looking at increasing it to 74 trips per day. With 74 trips per day, trains will be moving at, God knows, maybe every 10 or 20 minutes. Every day.
It's a welcome development.
It is a welcome development.
I'm happy that they're doing this. And, I've already seen people criticize what they're trying to do. But let us realize one thing.
I have only one question.
Yeah.
In your village, do you have rail?
Are you asking me?
The people that are criticizing it.
Okay. They will answer on their own part and by themselves. They need that window to switch. Because a lot of people actually didn't know that because they wanted to meet the deadline for operations, they started operating the blue line with a diesel engine.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to commend them for that. Because that's like you saying, look, you know what? We need to start. And again, it was timely because the cost of petrol had gone up and people were going through. And we are still going through with that. We are.
And with the amount of people that are on these trains now, we know that is people that are on it, they're saying every single time it is jam-packed. So it means that people don't have to rush as much.
When you know that
almost every time you get to the train station,
maybe every 15 or 30 minutes,
there's a train that is coming. I think that we should get to that point. Hopefully, they are talked about the red line starting. I think at the end of the year. I hope that also picks up. It's really also a welcome development that other states too need to. It is a safer, it is a cheaper mode of transportation. It's a more comfortable mode of transportation.
Let us also sound this warning. It is electrified. It is please do not attempt to cross that rail again. Please.
You have been warned.
Please.
You have been warned. Anyway, moving on from that quickly. There's a news coming from Abia State saying that, and you know, WAEC I think they released their results, I think a few days ago, and they're now coming out to say that, and I want to talk about this because I remember that during the election, something like this conversation came up. Now they're saying that there was a report that came out that said that Abia State had the highest level of people that got the highest level of what's the word now? Like
they produced the best
results in the country, and now they are saying that they do not even have those kind of.
They said it last year too.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, why would that kind of report come out now?
It's propaganda. Everybody's just being funny and all of that. Again, this really doesn't prove anything. Because, for instance, if you're doing this because you want to boost Alex Oti's profile, any result that comes out from WAEC this year belongs to the former governor, who was the one that might have supervised whatever happened.
Yeah, according to them in the statement, they said specifically, the West Africa Examination Council does not rank the performance of states in its examination.
We had this story last year.
So why
another state was claiming something that time too.
Yeah, it was Anambra. Now,
yeah.
Let's stop this.
It's just politics. It's all propaganda and all of that.
I don't even understand why.
Because people want to show that.
How my results.
No, they want to show that the governor is doing something amazing.
How I will read and I will pass with my results and how it affects the governor. I'm sorry, I don't know where the conversation could start from, but it just doesn't make plenty sense to me. I'm just saying. Also, quickly, there's news that popped up yesterday. I think it was yesterday, where there was an arrest made, and the arrest was because an older brother had beat up his 7-year-old younger brother and had said to have buried him alive.
Yeah. It's a very sad story. Very, very...
So, according to the pictures that were posted, it's not borderline. It is child abuse.
Yeah.
But I would also
7-year-old boy. It's
a 7-year-old boy. It was said that he stole, is it 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah, two different stories out there.
I think that there are other ways to discipline a child. But also, I think that poverty is involved in a lot of this. And I'm not talking about the amount of money. I'm talking about, at times, the mentality behind trying to discipline a child. Now, with the picture that I saw here, it really, really does not look like the intention was to kill the boy. But the way and manner, and I would not be surprised if they asked that kind of a boy, it's probably not the first time he's been beaten like that.
7-year-old.
The older brother will probably tell you that was how he got beaten. I think that literacy also, like,
plays a part
plays
in
a huge role in this kind of things. You see how some people beat their children and do something. I think a lot of times is more of illiteracy that when these things happen. That's what I personally think. I'm not holding brief for him. I'm just saying that at times
anyhow,
it's just
regardless
the situation.
regardless of what it is, there are laws in this country, and this person has breached a couple of them. I hope that they take it up. How do you bury a 17-year-old boy? Sorry, a 7-year-old. How do you even bury anybody alive? Any human being? Now, a 7-year-old boy is a baby. 7? 7 is a baby. What did he steal?
So now there's also a conversation that it is a story between a stepbrother and a stepmother and the 7-year-old boy.
Yeah.
So that is also...
It makes him less human, you understand? He's a stepson,
let's
so...
say...
You know,
do you understand?
So you can bury him alive and he will survive. Don't worry. Abi, it is wrong still. It even makes it worse.
Anyway, now moving on from that quickly, I was going to talk about a bit of, before we go, a bit of Israel. But before we go there's something that you had talked about earlier, and I think that's something that, even if it's just for laughs. So, the story has been out there that actors, they're actually both actors, yeah? Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have been separated since 2016.
2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, 2022 again, very important, then 2023.
My question is that, so, if we go back to the issue of her and August Alsina, which I'm guessing they didn't think that story was going to come out until the August Alsina decided, which I felt was a very childish move.
How old is he? Compared to Jada?
No, I'm saying that it was an adult.
Yeah.
It's just a very childish move.
Oh, yeah, he is.
So, of course, if he wasn't childish, that incident might not have come out, number one. Number two, the issue of Will Smith hitting Chris Rock because of his wife. There's the issue of them having shows together and going out together, being on red carpet together, of them hosting shows together and then giving and I remember now, the whole thing now pops up, and then it said that they've been separated for that long. So what was all the charade about?
They say it's make-believe. There's a Nollywood and Hollywood and Bollywood, and all the woods are about make-believe. But this is worse.
Because I remember that.
Because this is your reality.
That whole conversation, especially with August Alsina, it was obvious there was something wrong with their union. And at a point, I used to watch that Red Table Talk a lot. And I remember that a few times they were always talking about themselves as they do not call themselves married anymore, that they call themselves life partners. Now that you know that they've been separated for that long, it makes sense now.
It doesn't make sense.
It does. Like,
it doesn't make sense.
They've not been...
I'm a massive Will Smith fan. He's one of the few people. I don't follow celebrities now. I know they do them. And they follow Will Smith for Instagram. You know, understand? Like, I respect him a lot. I think he's very deep, very intelligent. But this one, where you do, they show say to get sense. Because... So
why were you going all out? It's
just
today, to cover up the charade.
People break up, people make up, people
It's even Hollywood. It's literally part of it. Like, I don't know why you have to...
So you guys are no longer together, eh?
So?
Why were you hiding it? Then why did you slap Chris Rock?
Over someone you are not even married to anymore.
It makes sense now. Now that slap for bring Jada back.
So according to her, she's saying that even Chris Rock knew that they had issues for a while.
Yeah.
And at a point, he was asking her out.
Yeah, I heard.
So I'm like, y'all just...
Is that
Y'all are
is
not-
that asking him that was paying? He just
Actually,
he used it,
yeah.
say, "Oh, you today, I'll go
Yeah.
slap you. Nothing go happen." But look, don't be a Will Smith. I like him a lot, but if it's not working, it's not working.
It's obvious that it wasn't working. There was obviously something wrong somewhere. I'm saying that there was just no need to keep up with the charade.
Is it by
wasn't.
force?
There wasn't. There was.
She don't move. You move on. You move now. Bro, you that fine boy now.
Let's even call a spade a spade. It always seemed like to
And the
me,
babe no really send you. You
it
don't understand.
almost seemed like
Babe
she
be
was
say,
always hung
Nah,
up on
nah, so
Tupac.
Tupac.
Do you understand? It always seemed like she was always hung up on Tupac and nobody
I
else.
don't know.
So
Mr. Will Smith, I don't know for you, Sha. I don't know.
and then she had to be the one to come out to say it again.
Now
Oh,
she's
God.
still for your hand.
Oh God.
Hey, look, say who send you make you slap person?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Bros.
You know, everything is adding up because remember after the slap, her reaction.
Yeah,
today
she
that
know to
she
send
was
down.
just- I'm like, okay. Okay.
Person go slap person for you. Normally, a woman go be like, yeah, that's my man. You don't talk down at me. I got a man. Now lie, oh. She just dey look and say, who send you?
Yeah,
Who send you? Who send you this work? You didn't have by slap.
Anyway, you people be
Then,
fine.
but well, look, with me, Sha, on this one, Sha, bros,
You know.
you mess up.
Sorry, I forgot to say something. I forgot one
Say it.
particular one. Senator Ifeanyi has now moved from YPP to APC. Please, I have a question. Is he not the only senator in YPP? And he was in YPP for like last 4 years.
Are you sure? I think they have another. I think they have another senator somewhere. I think means I'm playing actually. On the real, the rules of crossing the carpet are not as easy as they used to be. Even then, when they were doing it, people were abusing it. But now they're actually following it to the letter. So it really can prove that, oh, the YPP, there's issues and this and that and that and that and that. But it's interesting. If I cross into the APC at this time, they've not even done.
It's early now.
Have they done 5 months in the new
It's
dispensation?
early, it's early. Let him quickly do what he's doing. Let's know what we're doing. Funny enough, I really thought that at the 9th assembly, he was actually going to cross then. And it looked like he was standing his ground and all that.
Well, yeah, he even contested with YPP and won.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, what happened? Now, according to him, he's saying that there's some issues between him and the leadership of the party that, according to him, that is insurmountable.
Those are the excuses you need to cross carpet now.
Anyway,
Which is no way.
Fine. Finally, before we go, the Israel-Hamas war is still ongoing seriously. Israel's energy minister has said that Israel will not supply water, fuel, or anything else to Gaza until it's about 150 hostages are being freed. Also, the U.S. Sorry, let me just bunch everything together.
All right.
Also, the U.S. Secretary of State has now landed in Israel today, trying to find ways to resolve the issue. Also, according to the Hamas ministry, they're saying that death toll in Gaza has risen to 1,354. And according to the UN, about 383,000 people have been displaced.
This is a senseless war, I repeat. I understand that Israel feels that they need to retaliate and they always escalate. They take it to the highest level.
Maybe that's why you really shouldn't mess with them in the first place.
Fine. But I am more concerned about the children and the women and the innocent men who are not members of Hamas, who are now just being used and sacrificed because of war. I pray that one day mankind will find peace. Yeah. It's just a prayer.
It just doesn't make any sense how, people take like soldiers and all to say they are doing peacekeeping. It doesn't make any sense.
I find it hard. And again, there's a story linked to it. How X, that's Twitter, said that they are removing Hamas handles and stuff. And I said, I thought Elon Musk said that nobody was going to be gagged and everybody would have a time to talk and have a say and everything. Everybody who has a lot of power seems to be in support of Israel, while a lot of people are protesting, but they really don't have the kind of powers that we have. But in all of this, the people who have suffered are the innocent Israelis
people
and the innocent Palestinians. Can we please find a way to work something out that is permanent so that Palestine and Israel can live side by side? Enough of these
Anyway,
killings.
we'll see how that goes, and we'll definitely bring updates on that. On that note, that is all we'll be able to take today on the bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. We'll be back again at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of the bar. Do have a beautiful day.